to have a brain that has no problems, because a problem that is not resolved totally creates other problems. So the brain is constantly faced with problems. And so it's in travail, it's in conflict, it's perpetually battling with itself. So, not to have conflict. Then the brain begins to be free, and then begin to inquire. Otherwise you can't inquire. If you are a student or a research professor or inquirer into any material thing, you inquire, you research, you don't cling to anything, you don't cling to a former knowledge or former experience. Is that limited? Move on. But we don't do that. So, religion then is an inquiry, and that inquiry has no path, no direction. You follow it becomes extraordinarily subtle. There must be no motive. If you have a motive, it already set the course.
Yeah.
So are you also saying that the inquiry must continue, that you don't arrive at a point where you stop inquiring or whether you have an answer, so-called, but that spirit of continuing inquiry?
This is a rather difficult question to answer. Do you inquire further if you come to something that is not that has no space, no time, no such. When we talk about inquiry, who is the inquirer? We'll come back to that old thing. Mm-hmm. The inquirer is the inquired. I don't know if to make myself clear on that point. That is, I inquire into matter through telescope, through all kinds of experiments. I inquire. But the person who inquires is different from the thing he's inquiring. Yeah. Right? That's clear. But here, in the subjective world, in the world of the psyche, the inquirer is part of the psyche, is not separate from the psyche. If that is clear, then the inquiry becomes quite a different meaning.
Are you saying that then there is only inquiry? There is no inquired or inquirer?
No, I would say there is only infinite watching. There is no watcher in watching.
Yeah.
But the extraordinary vitality and the energy in watching. Because you have watched yourself, watched the whole psychological world, subjective world, before you come to that point. And now, when you are watching, there is no background which is watching. There is only watching as is. I don't know if I'm making myself clear. Because you see, that means in great attention. In that attention, there is no entity who is attending. There is only the attention that has space, the attention that is totally quiet, silent, attention that has tremendous gathering of energy, and therefore there is total absence of the self-interest. And is that possible for a human being to reach that point? And human beings find this terribly difficult. Therefore you come along and say, no, my friend, do this, do this, do this, get that. I'm your guru, you're my spiritual authority, and I'm caught in again. This has been the process. You can see it through wherever there are the saints, the spiritual hierarchy which recognizes the saint. And this process goes on all the time. So man has been incapable of standing on his own feet. He wants to rely on something. Whether it's his wife or in a job or on a belief or on some extraordinary experience that he may have had. So, I'm saying there must be complete freedom. That freedom is not so complicated. There is that freedom when there is no self-interest at all. Because self-interest is very small, very petty, very narrow. And unless there is complete freedom of that, truth, it becomes impossible. And truth cannot be through any path. It's a pathless land. You can't go through any system, through any method, through any form of meditation to reach that. There's really no reaching. It is.